You've felt it in your spirit. Something is shifting. This isn't just another week. This is the week everything changes. That uneasiness in your chest, that deep stirring that keeps you alert even when you're exhausted. That's not anxiety. That's the Holy Spirit whispering, "Get ready." You've been sensing it, haven't you? Things feel different. The air feels charged. Time seems to move both slowly and quickly, as if heaven and earth are aligning for something you can't yet explain. And deep inside, you just know. This week carries divine weight. This is not your imagination. It's not wishful thinking. Chosen one, you are standing at the threshold of something heaven has been preparing in silence. The delays, the detours, the heartbreak, they weren't meaningless. They were stages. And this week, the curtain begins to lift. You've walked through fire, but the fire didn't consume you. You've stood in the storm, but the storm didn't sink you. You've been betrayed, abandoned, misunderstood, but God kept your heart intact because He knew what He had planned for such a time as this. If you've been feeling restless, waking up in the middle of the night for no reason, crying without knowing why, don't ignore it. If people have been exiting your life, doors are suddenly closing, or opportunities are shifting, take a breath and pause. What you're feeling is divine positioning. You're not being pushed away from something. You're being drawn closer to your breakthrough. And this week, something that's been hidden is about to be revealed. Something that's been blocked is about to be opened. Something that's been delayed is about to be delivered. God doesn't make announcements the way man does. He speaks through signs, through synchronicities, through dreams, through divine encounters that look random but are loaded with purpose. Some of you have been seeing repeated numbers, hearing the same phrase multiple times from different people, sensing odd chills on your body. Don't brush that off. That's heaven trying to get your attention. God is saying, pay attention. This is the week it begins. You're not crazy for feeling what you feel. You're not overthinking it. You are spiritually sensitive because you've been chosen. And when you've been chosen, your soul picks up on what the flesh can't see. You sense the unseen warfare, but you also sense the incoming glory. It's why the enemy has been attacking your mind more intensely than usual. It's why people have been draining your energy. It's why temptation has suddenly crept back in, trying to distract you. Because the enemy knows your miracle is already en route. He can't stop it. But if he can distract you, confuse you, or break your faith, he can delay your preparation. Don't let him. This week is drenched in divine acceleration. That thing you've been praying about for years? The thing you put on the altar and forgot? God hasn't forgotten. Heaven doesn't forget. And when it's time, really time, the release is sudden. The blessing comes without warning, and no one can explain it. Remember Joseph? Thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned for years. He endured seasons where nothing made sense. Everything felt unfair. But in Genesis 41, everything changed in one day. One divine moment. One unexpected call to Pharaoh. And the boy in prison became the man in the palace. No warning, no announcement, no explanation. Just suddenly. That's how God works. When He says now, it doesn't matter how long you've been waiting. It doesn't matter who forgot you. It doesn't matter who mocked you, rejected you, or walked away. When God says now, He rewrites the story in an instant. He flips the script while your enemies are still reading the last page. And chosen one, this is your Genesis 41 week. You may not see the full picture yet, but you're already in it. Every delay you thought was denial, it was divine choreography. Every no you received, it was a setup for a better yes. And now, the atmosphere around you is changing because heaven has stamped your miracle with urgency. God isn't playing about your breakthrough. It's not a maybe. It's not a possibility. It's a promise. And this week, that promise begins to manifest. You'll know it by the peace that surpasses understanding. You'll know it by the sudden confirmations, a word you needed to hear, a message at just the right time, an unexpected encounter that shifts everything. Heaven is already organizing the details. You don't have to strive. You don't have to beg. You don't have to chase. What's meant for you will recognize you, and this week it finds you. But be warned, the warfare may intensify. Just before the waters break, the contractions become stronger. Just before birth, the pressure increases. So if things feel heavier right now, don't panic. Don't assume something's wrong. It means you're close. The enemy attacks most violently right before destiny is delivered. The pressure is not punishment. It's preparation. You are being stretched for the size of the blessing God is about to release. You've waited long. You've been faithful in obscurity. You've kept going when nobody was clapping. You've sown seeds in tears, and heaven has counted everyone. And now God is saying, this week your life turns a corner. This week the heavens open with clarity. This week confusion lifts and direction arrives. And when it happens, don't be surprised. You were born for this. Every trial prepared you. Every tear watered the soil for this exact moment. Do not be afraid when you feel a sudden shift. Do not doubt the acceleration. God is not bound by man's logic. What should take years will happen in days. What seemed impossible will feel effortless. Because you are walking in divine alignment, not human strategy. You are being carried by grace, not by your own strength. Let go of the need to control every step. Just remain alert. Be sensitive to the whispers. Pay attention to what feels different this week. Watch for unusual peace in the middle of chaos. Pay attention to who calls you, what invitations you receive, what doors suddenly crack open. Not everything will make sense, but everything will align. This is a week of strange favor. Doors you didn't even knock on will open. People who once ignored you will suddenly see your worth. Opportunities you thought were lost will reappear in better form. That's what happens when divine timing collides with obedience. Your faith has not been in vain. Heaven saw every silent prayer, every yes when you wanted to quit, every moment you loved others while you were broken inside. None of it was wasted. All of it is returning, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. You see, the God you serve is not a God of randomness. He's a God of patterns, a God of precision, a God who allows silence not because he's absent, but because he's working. You didn't lose those people by mistake. You didn't experience that heartbreak by chance. You didn't walk through that dark season just for survival. You walked through it for preparation. And now, that preparation is about to reveal its purpose. What felt like the wilderness is turning into a garden. What looked like a grave is becoming a doorway. And you, yes, you, are about to witness what it means when heaven says, now. Don't underestimate what God can do in a week. He created the entire universe in 6 days and rested on the 7th. He breathed galaxies into existence with his word. What makes you think he can't breathe one miracle into your life this week? What makes you think your time hasn't come? Just because others didn't see it doesn't mean heaven hasn't scheduled it. In fact, the less people expect it, the more God loves to show off. He delights in confounding the wise with the unexpected. And when he lifts you, he makes sure it's undeniable that it was him. Not connections, not effort, not logic. Him. That's why the enemy is nervous right now. He's pacing, he's panicking, he's throwing distractions, stirring confusion, reigniting old triggers, resurrecting insecurities. Because he knows he's out of time. He's watched you endure too much. You didn't quit when you could have. You didn't curse God in your pain. You didn't let bitterness infect your spirit. And now? Now the enemy knows what's coming. You're about to be rewarded openly for what you endured privately. Some of you have been having vivid dreams. Not all of them make sense, but they carry weight. You wake up feeling like something is about to break. That's not your imagination. That's your spirit tuning into the frequency of heaven. You're being shown glimpses, symbols, warnings, confirmations. Dreams are heaven's native language. Don't dismiss them. Write them down, pray over them. God is trying to prepare your heart, not just for what's coming, but for how quickly it will arrive. Be mindful of your words this week. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Don't speak defeat when breakthrough is near. Don't speak fear when you've been called to walk in faith. What you declare in this season matters more than ever. Say what God says. Speak His promises. Declare His truth. You're not waiting on luck. You're aligned with destiny. And here's the truth. The shift won't always feel comfortable. You may lose more things before the miracle shows up. You may feel a sudden loneliness, a strange emptiness. Don't misinterpret it. God clears space before He sends the blessing. He removes the counterfeit before He brings the real. So if anything or anyone walks out of your life this week, let them. Don't chase what heaven is removing. Don't beg for what God is breaking. Trust the divine pruning. It's making room for the fruit. Chosen one, listen closely. This week, something unusual will happen. Something that interrupts your routine. It could be a conversation, a message, a meeting, a delay that leads you somewhere unexpected. Don't rush past it. Pay attention. There are no coincidences when you walk with God. His hand is hidden in what looks ordinary. That flat tire might lead to a divine appointment. That rejection might push you toward the real blessing. Nothing is wasted when God is directing your steps. Heaven has gone ahead of you. Angels are already stationed. Doors are already unlocked. The provision has already been assigned. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are exactly where you need to be for the miracle to find you. You didn't miss it. You're standing right in the center of it. And all of heaven is leaning forward, waiting for your faith to say, I'm ready. Let your posture this week be one of expectation. Don't just wish, expect. Don't just hope, believe. Wake up each day and declare, this is the day something shifts. This is the day something opens. This is the day heaven moves for me. And even if it looks the same on the outside, keep declaring it. Faith doesn't wait for evidence. Faith creates the evidence. Speak it until it shows up. Praise until it breaks through. Worship until the atmosphere bends. This week, you'll feel heaven nudge you toward things you normally ignore. You'll feel drawn to open a book you set aside, or call someone you haven't spoken to in years, or walk down a different street. That's not random. That's divine setup. The pieces are moving, and if you stay spiritually alert, you'll move with them. Don't force anything, just flow with the Spirit. He is guiding you towards something unimaginable. People around you might not understand what's happening. That's okay. They weren't meant to. Revelation is personal. What God whispered to you in the dark doesn't require group approval. Your obedience doesn't need applause. This week, you must walk boldly, even if you walk alone. Trust the knowing inside you. Trust the vision He gave you. Trust that what you've been sensing is real. And when the moment comes, because it will, don't hesitate. When the door opens, walk through it. When the message arrives, respond. When the opportunity presents itself, say yes. Don't delay your blessing by second-guessing. This isn't the time for fear. This isn't the time for shrinking. This is your appointed hour. Your soul has been rehearsing for this. Every trial has built you for this. Every test has trained you for this moment. You've been anointed for visibility after years of hiding, prepared for elevation after seasons of silence, positioned for abundance after cycles of lack. And the world won't see it coming, but you will, because your spirit has already been feeling it. Your discernment has already picked it up. And now, finally, it's here. Heaven is saying, you've waited long enough. The release is happening. The shift has begun. And the favor you're stepping into cannot be reversed. No weapon formed against you will prosper. No tongue that rises against you will prevail. The very people who doubted you will be witnesses to your elevation. Not for your ego, but for God's glory. So they'll know it wasn't luck. It was the Lord.